NRG pick up the win in dominating fashion as they're outside enjoying some bananas, actually.
Healthy.
It's the banana meta, everyone.
Good
It's happening.
Good snack.
Listen, real fast, I'm just going to say bananas, good potassium, good in sugar, healthy, clean. It's a great thing to eat. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about that game because goodness gracious, from the beginning we were seeing an absolute masterclass in the calling from Finesse, but you got to give the flowers to the most versatile, flexible player on this team, undoubtedly, and it's of course Victor, who I think was just shutting down Aspas each and every single time.
Yeah, and Victor's actually been one of the biggest performers for the team overall. I think he's been absolutely fantastic. 400 ACS is unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, we're in week 7 now, so just, you can do a little bit of homework, study your opponent, and Aspas is one you definitely want to study and do some homework on, because if you shut him down, then you're going to have a much easier time.
That's right, but it's almost as like the path of least resistance, right, is to shut down Aspas, and we were actually seeing that a fair amount, and Josh, I know that you had a Teletrader you wanted to break down with that.
I do, yeah, so I'm going to go over to the tele wall and try and break down one of these plays, and this was in round 8, and we're going to talk a little bit about the A conditioning that Finesse did. So as you can see here, round 3, they went towards A. Round 4, they went A ramp to A. Round 5, they went A ramp and pivoted elsewhere. Round 7, they went A ramp to A as well. They won round 4, 5, 7. The score's 5-2 at this point. So let's have a look at round 8. This is the big one here. All of NRG grouped up here, and previously they've been going up ramp, putting a bunch of pressure there, and then sometimes they've flooded into the site as well. And this puts immense pressure on Cowanzine, who likes to anchor towards the map, and this round it's going to put pressure onto Aspas. So I'm going to clear this out and get started with the clip, and we can have a look at what's happening. Now, Riv called it out as it was occurring. This was the first time that we'd really seen Victor double blast pack up there. But the double blast pack is paired with a stun, and it's also paired with a flash that sets him up. He thinks about the second player that could be in that position, throws out a boombot, and they commit to the site. You'll notice in the midst of all of this, Aspas is under a lot of pressure. So let's take a look at what this looked like from Aspas's point of view. And I'm actually going to slow this down to literally 0.25 speed so that you can see what happens here. Because as they drop their own wall, and you get Crashies swinging out this way as Ardis pushes onto the angle, and it allows Ardis to swing in where he's favored against the operator, does a ton of damage, down to 5 HP, and Aspas has a star at his feet. He has a nade towards screens where he can't get out. Look, he's 5 health, desperately trying to escape, smokes his way out, and there is a nade flying through to stop his exit. We have seen Aspas style on teams so many times on Split. Nobody can stop him apart from NRG. They figured out the perfect counter. They knew exactly how he was going to play that situation and destroyed him.
Unbelievable. And also an incredible breakdown as well, Sideshow. Join us over here as we jump into the aim lab, shoot around. Of course, we're going to be checking out with Cowanzine here today as Loud are looking to bounce back. But Josh, you broke it down beautifully there. The problem for Loud was very simple. They got shut down. They got outthought of in this particular instance. And you can tell, Benita, this team, NRG, the homework, the studying was real.
Oh yeah, it was definitely there. I mean, we can't blame Loud that much.
Oh, of course.
They didn't necessarily need to come to this match with new things.
Absolutely.
I agree.
And that is part of the reason why I think it's so interesting that Bind got removed, right? You see it on the map pool there, because it means Loud can bring new things that can't be anti-stratted. If you actually think about a lot of the ways in which Loud have lost maps, or admittedly, they haven't lost the series yet in VCT Americas, they've lost maps to teams like EG on Split by counter-stratting in a similar way to NRG. Very different ideas, but still very counter-strat heavy.
Wasn't this the script as well for Loud too? Except it's NRG this time that gets to win.
Right. So I think that this is going to be a really interesting battle when we get to playoffs too. But at the moment, you can see which team desperately needs to win the game. And it's these guys.
All right, well, as we jump into map 2, we get ready to see where, or rather what, we're going to be playing on for these agents here. I'm left wondering, like, yeah, you're right, Bonita. Loud, they don't need to do much here, but it would behoove them to try and stop NRG from making their way into playoffs, because I think the run that this team has had, Benita, has been pretty impressive.
Oh, it's been beyond impressive.
Yeah, and that's the issue. You don't want to allow Finesse to get a read on you and start snowballing. To be honest, I think that's already happened, hasn't it? You heard it from the casters talking to a couple of the players about how a lot of people are scared of this NRG squad already.
Yeah. They came out with fire. That's exactly what you wanted to see. Nothing really all that crazy that we're getting here, but about what the bog standard of what we've come to expect on this map.
That's definitely true, but it's also a map where we've seen Loud stumble before. They've lost here to Sentinels, they've lost here to Crew as well, so there is a possibility that NRG take this in 2.
Well, surely this thing is gonna go to a map 3, right? Well, let's go ahead and find out and send it over to Vansili and Riv.
Surely it should, because this still follows the Riot script of the VCT Americas, right? We do have Loud that lost the first map convincingly against their opponents, and then somehow Aspas will turn it up, and then we go into a map 3, right?
Exactly. I mean, Loud has a lot of those game 3s. Even though they seem as they are the most winningest team, they are pushed to the limit. Just last week, an OT versus 100 Thieves to secure that 2-0. So they are being found out. I think everybody this year is better because of what they're doing, how they're playing. The league itself is just growing immensely. But this game here, NRG, looks to be toppling the rest as we get onto Pearl.
Here.
This pick coming in from NRG. They find there's a few towards that lane side of A, and a mid control to start things off. A lot of damage done.
We are fighting hard. Wow. Low HP on Artis as he does capitalize on a kill onto Less. So fall back for a bit. The wall already came up here on the defensive side. That is Som with the high tide just to stop the aggression that was coming out from Loud earlier on. Meanwhile, though, Loud has crept up towards A-Long. There's Finesse waiting pretty much at Secret, at the dugout, waiting to pay passively.
Yeah.
It's a contact play. Aspas activating the dash, now spotted, and it's a double push in. But again, Artis comes in for the instant trade, still at low HP. Cascade to come out, Som pushing through, does get the kill onto Aspas. The advantage comes back now for NRG. There's a flank coming. It's Victor waiting, greeted by 2Es, and it's a long-range frenzy that wins it. Back to a 2v2, make that into a swing kill after Sadak gets that pick onto Artis.
Som now in the clutch situation. The average for the league is 15%. Som is tied for first in clutches with none other than Leaf. W streamer, W clutcher, can he do it here?
But the plant comes down,
Planted.
takes out the first one, down at low HP. So the percentage play is gonna get a little bit shorter if you can't get these kills. Now spots both of them just by the pillar. Cascade to come out, trying to dance around. Here's a reload. Looking for that timing across. Is that the Cascade comes down? It's 2Es and Sadak that never move from their position as Loud gets the pistol round.
The frenzies seem so annoying to play against when they combo those together, especially when you have a sheriff shot tagging off 55 of your health if it's just gonna hit clean. You just have a frenzy follow-up after that, and we even see the long range of the frenzy dominating there on the classic as well. It's just it's so much easier to get a swing peak with a frenzy than it is a classic, right? Kind of contested by a sheriff, but didn't see any of that. Marshall now for Artis. So Marshall as well for the other side? No, Aspas going for full gun. Vandal on 2 here for Loud as they want to secure these rounds. That means I think they're going to play a little safer in general.
Let's connect that one, though. And somehow, through the Cascade gets a headshot to Aspas. Victor with another smoke kill. It almost feels like I'm casting Ethan from EG. Now close range, no vulnerable, trying to get this kill, but the right clicks to not connect. Sadak answers back to a 4 versus 4. Breathing room now for Loud as they regain control of the pace, of the map, of the round. NRG now guessing around, gambling towards an A rotation, so they gamble for the H stack. So far, though, you can definitely see from Loud just making a lot of noise out of here. You still have the lurk pushing up from Sadak, especially after that kill. That might be the killing blow for Loud to capitalize on the round. The read is perfect for them to rotate into the B side and for the flank.
slow move in. They'll find that nobody's home, and a pretty quick plant for Loud.
30
Yeah, I think
seconds
once
left.
they recognize the Vandals were
planted.
out, NRG obviously has to play a little bit safer. Get the buddy system going here, and they're just going to look for exits on this one. Loud starting off exactly how they need to. Like I said, once that game's over, you push on to the next game. Not even worrying about what's before. And that's what Fraud said as we interviewed him after their losses. It doesn't matter what happened in the game before. We won it, we move on. Even if we lost the map, we move on. And I think it's such a good mentality here to reset, re-clear, and get prepared for the game. 4 alive here, so great that they can bring these Vandals into the next round for Loud. They're going to be in a beautiful position to set up for bonus round.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing that's been the positive aspect for Loud here for the VCT Americas. Is to make sure that they maintain the tenacity, always trailing behind, losing the first map, coming back, winning overtime games too here and there, but always maintaining an undefeated record. And there you go. Just mentioned it here, 6-1 record when facing the second map of VCT Americas. NRG are 4-3. And things are starting off well here for Loud. Winning the pistol, getting in the second round, looking to convert the bonus. But with a couple of players dying early there after that spike, it's going to be an expensive buy here for Loud onto the second one, so they have to opt for the small shield buy.
Yeah. Towards B again. I thought the story of this map after pistol would be a lot of mid control, but it's the extremities. Aspas talked about it. When things aren't working for Loud, they go to the outsides of the map. They start to play the long game. The aim has been on so far, and it looks like that's how they want to test energy. Who's going to peak as we get these rifles out? Good control over mid still from Loud as they're looking for the rotate. NRG can probably focus towards B now with their A main push. But you see how pressured Loud feels. Only making moves when they feel like the full team can go forward here on B long.
This is the good part here. Getting that pressure towards B long all the time, pushing artists away allows for Loud to pick up these orbs, secure the orbs, building it up this time around for Tui's. So we're also waiting for an opportunity to get the high tide into the site.
Oh. They're not going to expect a lot of people on that right side.
It's going to be a flash pick on both ends! And it's greeted left and right. Tui's answers back, and through the smoke, the spike falls down. Aspas has 12 HP.
30 seconds
Less
left.
up there for the support. As now that there's 25 seconds left,
Wow.
you have to commit now into the B site if you want to move into the B site. Som readjusting his position back behind the screens. Again, it is such low HP and there's more deniability. The wall coming out from the toxic screen, as now we have to commit very soon. There's the first contact coming in from the B link. The spike once again falls, courtesy of Artis, who looks for a second battle here. Finally, the plant gets activated, but now it has to be let go! As Finesse gets the last kill. And
Loud
NRG secure that B hold.
was so patient. Loud was so patient trying to get into that site. And where does energy engage? Right up in their face on the wall. That long-range fight did not come out for him, and energy come up very big on the flash fight. A flash for flash, but energy had already pushed through to advance.
10 seconds left.
Artis as well, getting a few in the back.
Toxin screen down.
Playing it smart. Energy are not giving up a lot of the information about who's in sight or what's in sight until they explode. Like I said, like dynamite from split to now. KJ Util on Art and A for now, and Energy, they're going for a walk up B here really fast.
Like dynamite, wanted to explode towards the A side control, picked up the orb, wanted to maybe go for some sort of hit if they could catch some players off guard.
All right, reckoning out. That clears Art, so they got to clear back right side if they go in.
Finesse did a good job though, putting a snake bite on the ground, separating that push through. It's a split coming in from Art and also on A main from Loud. Orb to come up from the Cove, a plant coming in from both angles at Art and also at Long.
Yeah.
First blood comes in favor of last slow HP. Kaozin stays towards the church for the heal.
Oh, he's not
High
in.
tide comes out, here comes the bloodbath.
Oh my god, that heal almost got it killed.
A flash comes out as Kaozin holds towards the church across her with Aspas, and it's good for a couple of kills. But finally, NRG start answering back. Crashes and Victor, Nanostorm on the ground,
it's gonna
delaying even more for the attempt on the
peek.
read. Once again, the dynamic duel of Victor and Crashies line up the 3 kills, and it saved the round for the defuse.
You saw the prep coming. You saw Crashies stepping back to his right, stepping back to his right to wide swing over the head of Victor. These two are absolutely incredible together. Every single time they are able to work it out and get that trade kill or even stay alive doing it. Victor and Crashies playing with their food, if you will.
Never stopped since they've been discovered into the T1 lineup. Moving over there to NV now into Optic and NRG, continuing their dominance so far now into VCT Americas, especially now that Victor has been finding a great groove in what Golden Boy was talking about before, flex H and flex plays, and putting numbers on every single one of these roles week after week. Artist trying to do the same as it connects onto less. No lurk available now for Loud. So any high tide that we see has to be a commitment, and it's already been used early at the beginning of this round for Loud. Aqua's looking for an opening, high in the air, but Finesse is playing close. Traded off though by Tui's.
Reckoning and Seekers here for NRG.
Bomb grenade out.
They're okay to let the plant go.
Yeah.
Pushing in towards the flowers. Aspas is trying to break the rotation across.
Oh, Reckoning down.
Does connect there onto Som. Victor trying to get the pick back. As you saw Aspas looking for the escape, looking for cover. And after the Cove breaks, Artist lines up 2 kills. Seekers following onto Tui's on a 3 versus 1. And it's a clean retake for NRG to take the lead on Pearl.
Incredible stuff right now. Loud's post-plant success is #1 in the league. That is being shredded right now by NRG. Usually once that spike is down, Loud cannot be stopped.
One enemy remaining.
Just the pushes. They're so sure. The Seekers to identify. Even without having the Reckoning there, they had an audible to call and reuse just Seekers to get in the site. It's
exactly
an answer for everything. Sam still has the Reckoning up. We'll see. Sadak wants to play with this lockdown. Maybe a fake towards A with how they're positioning so far. As that mid control does come up on this low attack buy here for Loud. Again, pushed up towards B. NRG gaining so much crucial map info to start this round.
Hero rifle coming out from Aspas. Small shield and a Vandal. Alarm bot now broken, forcing out the rotate for a couple of the players from NRG. You see now Crashies moving across here to help towards the A site, because we also have Artist once again pitted to go head-to-head against Less. Controlling the B main, not allowing any lurks to happen now for Less at least to start things off. For the rest of Loud though, it looks to be a commitment very soon towards this A site. Still, we have all of Victor's utility. Now minus the turret, picked off. But that gives the information away now for NRG players to get ready. 2 of them playing inside the dugout. Loud still looking to play the contact. Now finally giving their position away by a high tide coming out, blocking the back of the site. And here's the attempt for a plant down. The sprays comes across. Counter sprays coming out from Aspas, and the Cove now will secure at least a plant for Loud.
Spike planted.
Aspas still trying to spray through towards the church.
Reckoning's there.
You should run.
But there's an attacker lockdown. Kawadzine though gets the pick.
Got your trail.
There's a big lurk from Som. He has to win this fight. Cascade is now out on a 2 versus 1. And now with him falling down, that's the lockdown that will stay up and activated. Detaining one, dropping Victor, and it's up to Finesse on a 5 versus 1. Finesse looking for some exits. Less falls. And of course, this guarantees around now for Loud. Finesse deciding if he wants to make it expensive or just want to save his weapon. And he'll vote for the latter as Loud tied back now 3-3.
Much more structured than their first split or game on split. Loud just seems to be flowing a little bit more. That talk at halftime was it. Even with the timeouts we saw, they couldn't stop what NRG was doing. But this will now be an NRG timeout. I think they got a little too ahead of themselves on the lockdown, using the Reckoning. Yeah, you want to get to it, but it seems like if that fails, that really fails. It's kind of pushing for a strat. Your hand is forced. Still like the idea, though. Sometimes you got to go and push yourself over. Reckoning is well ready for the side of Loud and a Viper's Pit. So very big things to secure these sites.
That was still a very good thing here done by Loud. The execution towards the A site, despite it being a 3 round, a hero rifle coming out here from Aspas, there were still small utilities that were crucial to allow this plant to happen and for them to win these rounds. The high tide that came out, the cove for the plant, but even that nanoswarm, even though it didn't do too much damage, it doesn't allow for NRG to try to push back and fight back to prevent that plant from happening. And that also allows the other players to play super far back, use that lockdown in their favor, and now make the economy much more difficult for NRG moving into the next round.
I mentioned Loud's post-plant success as I finally scrolled through my stats. The average is 66% across the lead for post-plant success. Loud sits at 73%. So seeing how much they can get in, get these spikes down is fantastic, but also thinking of how much energy stopped that last game. So they've been having trouble getting that number to go up here within this series. Switch of the Killjoy utility as Victor's over towards A, or B rather. And this mid control once again from Loud. Guiding light right through. Aspas follows. Boom. Nice timing on the pit, or the bite as well to stop that from happening. One of the rounds that NRG has not decided to push up around the map on a lower buy, but Artis' op needs to stay on an angle is what it is.
That's why there's a switch on positioning too from the op. What? Does get the wall bang there onto Sadak. Instant heal, falls back, and now this is still Loud pushing through. Crashes finding off angle at the bottom of the drop, trying to swing out onto timing here as Victor gets a kill onto Les. Meanwhile, the operator has fallen. That was a glass cannon from Artis. And as it comes through, it crashes with the Guardian, who gets 2 kills, finally answered back by Aspas. Dashing in, closing in. It's only one player alive. It's Aspas close range who does get the headshot, but he's low on HP.
Oh my gosh.
That would have been funny.
Dare do that. Holy Aspas, ready to win this one. Almost activated, it seems, right now as he confidently moves. But to the door. But to Victor's eyesight.
Too easy. The barrel sticks out from the Vandal, 8 HP. That's definitely a call for him to get ready for that one too. And look at his face. He is serious right now. Usually he grins, does a fist bump with it. This time it's just, we want to prove something here for NRG once again. And these are some great kills coming out from Crashies.
They're all taking the info from Finesse on the desk. If you're having fun, you're not doing it right. Can't have fun. Serious face and a little emotion there out of Finesse, if you will. 4-3. Still, such a close game. They find Sadak, but already pushing now from pushing B to pushing A. NRG trying to give Loud a different flavor every round. Loud here pushing back towards Art. Knowing it was guarded by 2, they're trying to play off of instantly what they're seeing on NRG. I like the attacks from Loud to try and pick off what they're seeing from round to round, but NRG also continue to switch it up as these teams just give each other things to answer.
And that's it. Sadak said that NRG always comes out with something new, and this time not only on Masado, from round to round. That previous attempt here from Victor using his own turret as a trap play to get a kill onto Art. But as he loses a turret, it also allows for him to at least push Loud over towards the A site. With this timing, a pit comes out. The execution still comes in though for Loud, attempting to push inside of this pit, attempting to get it down from Finesse. Som also moves in with the shorty. Gets picked off. Low HP is going to be Sadak, trying to clear off the areas. Lockdown now coming through, picked off, but the lockdown is still up. The attackers have to try to push in right now as the pit is about to fall. Sadak connects onto Finesse. Now that there's 30 seconds left, though, still the whole map to play with the 2-player advantage. Yes, 2 players get locked down.
Oh my.
So this is actually pretty good. This force is now allowed to move out towards Long B.
Artis.
And that's Artis with 2 kills. But now overcommits the trade-off as Kaladin stays alive. Last man standing, and a round comes in for Loud.
That got sketchy as NRG came back. Victor with the lockdown, and it seemed like Loud wanted to still plant within, but knew the time was getting too tight. Awesome fight towards long there. Kaunzine comes up big. The rookie giving Loud what they need. And they're going to get now round 9, tied up 4-4. Back and forth the last few rounds. So different here from map 1. And it looks like a bit of a read here from NRG too. It's going to be mid-mid once again. We're almost getting a pistol round strat.
Loud's been doing a lot of those, from pistol round to a couple of rounds ago, and now Artis trying to get something with the Blade Storm. Does connect onto Kaladin. No heals, no flashes. Gets a second one too onto Les. And NRG are just flooding back towards the plaza. and they're shopping for these kills as we have a 2v2. The weapons are still too far away to get picked up now by Crashies or Finesse. At least Finesse does get the push forward. So pushing and pulling as you have Crashies falling back towards the pit. Finesse is looking for timing. Salvage a weapon potentially.
They cruise around the turret's path. Easy here. Oh, KJ's down. I heard the turret from Sadak. I was like, oh my God, they're walking by it. Now plant in sight. Safe plant. They can either go towards Art or A. So it's gonna have to be a real look for our energy here. It's good that you have Finesse coming through to clear this out. Time delay on even getting to the spike.
And with the time delay though, the Trailblazers clearing out towards Art. So it's now confirmed that the last two players of Loud are playing towards A long. So Finesse picks up a weapon.
They hear him running around.
For the two players to move in.
They hear him running around. They know Tui's is gone.
There's a timing on this, definitely. First Nanostorm already came out. Finesse, though, really trying to focus on this pick onto Sadak. There's that first flash.
They don't know his timing.
Tapping onto the spike, trying to get it halfway. Here comes the peek out. The timing onto this one. Finesse connects. Now back to a 1v1. There's no time left. He has to move in for the kill. Couldn't get the spray. The round comes in for Loud. But we put the econ damage in here from NRG.
Everybody going down in these rounds makes the game easy for no one. Yeah, Loud gets the round, but oh my gosh, the fact that we can't get the economy built for mostly either the teams. We're down a little bit for Cow and Zine. The rest of Aspas and Les have been fragging out, or not fragging out, but having good rounds and staying alive. So they're able to distribute a bit and use a Blade Storm now to get into the next round with some good weaponry. Artis is going to be going for the Operator. This could really change the flow of things, but you say the same thing about Aspas's Blade Storm. That can usually twist a game right up.
Last cannon. Actually, small shield with the Operator.
Full bite.
Back. Forces a dash away here from Aspas early.
They're reading each other so well in these attacks and defensive engages here.
Oh yeah, this is definitely the rivalry that we were expecting, that we were looking for. A little bit more quiet but dominant from NRG on the first map. The last time, as I mentioned before, these two teams faced against each other was a lock-in on Pearl, and it was an overtime victory for NRG. So we continue to back and forth from round after round. Artis rotating back, repositioning himself towards the B long, and connects onto Kawadzine.
A connect just on contact there. And now the wall to slow him down, Van Silly. The 5v4 conversion may be here. Artis still up in sight.
Spray through the smoke, turret to spot Aspas on the top of the screens. Now looking for the spray back. Storm connects with a second one.
Last player standing.
An alert doesn't work out. Only one player left to go. And it's Tui's. One away from the reckoning.
30 seconds left.
There's chaos all around. Standing lonesome by himself. His artist is still watching the other angle. NRG knows that Tui's is pinned. Trying to go for the peek and the kill. But now you definitely see the time running down too. Thankfully, that wall coming out for the toxic screen, guaranteeing the round for NRG, but also almost guaranteeing here that Tui's could save his weapon. Staying back towards the staircase as it's Crashies trying to move forward. Round still comes in now for NRG as they tie up the game.
There is such an incredible understanding from both teams about what they're doing on this map. The audible of defense there called a little better by NRG as they were able to swing over and now tie us back up at 5-5. But the way that they're reading each other is night and day different than Split. You're not getting the double duelist entry into the site. It's a little more known that you want Aspas or you want Artis to be getting in, and they're able to shut it down. They're able to stop it on both sides. The one time Aspas will get that room that they need, get into the site. Next time Artis will find the first kill and it falls in the 5v4 conversion for NRG. Just back and forth as they read each other.
So this time the timeout is out here for Loud. What they've done so well here for NRG, both NRG and Loud, is continuing using great utility on the fight for art control. You're going to give the advantage over to NRG at least because they are on a defensive side to start things off, excuse me. And with that, when you're funneling everybody back towards Artis with the Operator, you still need that extra piece of utility to try to push Artis away here if you're standing in the forefront from Loud to try to capitalize on a B-site plant. We haven't seen too many of those in a game, especially on a map like Pearl.
We have not. It seems like getting down long B is just too long of a walk here for Loud. They've been able to skirt into A a few times, like you said, from that art side, from the battle they've been putting with utility inside that area. And it looks like they'll try for it once again. A little less contest for Art this time. We'll see if they actually push through and swarm on to now Victor, switching back over to the A site. Great harbor control towards mid. You just give Loud something to think about and get that utility out of them to take the space that they would otherwise play contact to.
From one high tide that's going to get refreshed, already both flashes and even a trailblazer has been used by cowantzin. And that's only, what, 20 seconds into the round.
You see a lot of harbors throwing that wall from Art or on that B-Ling side. It really just helps to control the first portion of the game and make sure you get at least a flash or two or pressure play by forcing the hand to Loud. Here's this Art play, Vansili. You called it. Looks like they want it again.
Yep. Cold play would be actually really good here for 2Es because that would allow for the reckoning to happen and to delay that clock down if they get the spike. Turret now picked off, allowing Aspas to move forward with support here from cowantzin. They want to fight towards the back holes. 2E falls out to spike, but at least Loud has pushed in to take the advantage, pushing out towards the spawn too. And it's Sam by himself, waiting for the cavalry to arrive, waiting for his teammates to rotate for him. He's looking for the play. Does connect there onto cowantzin, but he gets damaged himself. The support finally comes out. Cascade also pushing towards A main, and there's that flash. Art is looking for a pick, and he does get onto Aspas, but cowantzin's also there. The 3 versus 2. It's up to Sam and Crashes here for NRG, as cowantzin's making that 1v1 duel. The pinch across here, trying to close it in, and it works out. Beautiful play from the Cascade for the pinch. Back to a 2v2, but it's still nanoswarms onto the spike. Even a turret to come into contact. Things are looking really good now for Loud, and that's going to be now NRG deciding to fall back, save the operator into the next round. But that was a battle and a half into the A site.
One enemy remaining.
Vamos from the crowd there as Loud picks up another one. I think that was their idea on the round. Go as quick as we can into A. They've been plagued a bit by how much NRG is pushing B long and then being very alert in A site for the attack. Even with the push B long this time, it didn't matter how alert NRG was in the site. Everybody flying in, cowantzin and Aspas doing very well at opening it up. Is going to try to repeat that one here as we get into the next round.
And one thing that was nice, I think, was identified by how Fraud seeing NRG playing the defensive side on A site. When it comes down to attempting to play the retake, they're really staying back towards the dugout. So they took the pressure towards the back of the site to let that happen. Artist looking for a pick. Another one through the smoke. Aspas once again gets shut down. The reckoning comes out.
They're gonna play in front of it.
We're trying to fight back. Artist somehow through the tuck screen connects with the second one.
Oh, this is messy.
Hit by a Seeker, but it's still Loud, being held back, pushed back towards the pillar. That's gonna nullify the reckoning. That's gonna nullify the Seekers too.
The harbor wall goes up. Gas goes down. They're delaying so well.
And Victor's on the flank. And with no pressure coming out now from Loud into the B site, Victor is just holding the off angle, catches the first one. Back to the once! Gets a triple kill. This man is unstoppable this series.
Is he still on raise? No, it's a killjoy. All right. Just so much confidence on whatever he's flexing to. He can flex whatever he wants. He can flex whatever he wants. Another fast round. They're coming in for Loud, but they are shut down that time for NRG. 6-6 first half here as we go ahead, check out a replay of that. Just double swing, even at distance. It did not work out for him. And again, quick fist bumps. Just calm, cool, collected. NRG wants more.
And with that, let's toss over to the ground here where we have Dan Giant standing by with one of my favorite players. It's Valen's the guard. Or the guard's Valen.
He is also one of my favorite players too, and favorite AIGLs as well. Valen, we're happy to have you here in the arena. How are you feeling? Also,
great.
you have your team as well, so how are you feeling? How are you guys watching it? Yeah.
No, the energy's been sick. It's my first game, so it's pretty dope, like coming out and seeing everyone. The energy's great, and the game has been awesome, so it's been fun.
How are you feeling for this game? We know Loud are often losing that map #1, but how do you think it's gonna go eventually?
I think map #2, I mean, it's always interesting because Loud, like, tend to lose the first map a lot.
Yeah.
But this, I mean, it's 6-6, so it's pretty close. I mean, I think I have Loud taking this map and NRG taking map 3, so we'll see what happens.
We're gonna see if that's what's gonna happen. And this is a big rivalry, of course, internationally. But you also know about rivalries and challengers, going multiple times against M80 and having really close matches against them. When is this kind of pressure for a rivalry match that you want to win and you want to have that consistency on? Do you think it adds more pressure to the players here?
I mean, yeah, everyone likes to win a rivalry match. Like for us and M80, like we like to play each other, and obviously whoever wins that is feeling great. For these guys, they've been playing each other since last year, very close matches all the time, like in champs and all that. So, I mean, it's big matches for both of them. I'm sure they're having a great time. Definitely adds pressure, but it only makes it more fun. So, yeah.
And also, just like Loud, you're used to being at the top, getting those wins, being super consistent. NRG also recently doing kind of the same thing. Is it still, you know, when you're secure, when you're in that spot that Loud is in, you're still want to win that rivalry? How does it work, in your own opinion, as an IGL, to make sure that those rounds are going your way? Because we heard a little bit of even Sadek saying so.
Yeah, I mean, when you guys play each other so many times, especially like NRG and Loud, the IGLs, it's a lot of battle of like the mind, because I'm like a lot of mind games, because you play each other so much, so you're very like familiar with their play patterns and kind of how they like to approach the map, who's going to take the first engagements, who's rotating, all that stuff. So it's a lot of mind games. You got to have a really good prep. I think both teams are showing that right now.
Okay, you're saying it's going to go to map 3. We got to see if that's going to happen as we send it back to the casters.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan Dryad and Valen from the guard.
Always good to see.
Crowd is cheering on here for the second half now to start between NRG and Loud. And yes, when you've played against each other, just like Valen said, it's the big brains here from Finesse and from Sadat going toe-to-toe at this point. But we've seen some changes coming in from as well, the players themselves being a lot more aggressive. I see Artis being much more confident, really pushing through behind the utility, or even in front of the utility from Loud to punish these pushes coming out from Aspas. But now it's Loud on the defense, NRG on the attack, and the orb in their favor, focusing in on Sam.
Yeah, with Crash, he's getting it, whether he was trolling or not. They just decide to audible call onto Sam. But yeah, Seekers or Reckoning. They feel like they'll get the space they need, maybe, to get to the site take. They do not toy with mid at all. And right now, distance they're running is out of any earshot range allowed. This is going to be shop control with a 3-2, so expect B-Link to be taken, and I love Loud's positioning for this. They've read this so well, but they do think possibilities of danger coming up behind Les. You see those pings.
Yeah, and those ping turns him away.
Yeah. He says, yeah, you might be right, actually. It's a little too quiet, but they're right up on. Aspas can hear this. He's calling it.
He's doing the same thing as Artis, getting in front of that utility from NRG, but it's not connected onto the kill. Artis dashing in and trying to clear out the site. Now force a generator. It's a 1-for-1. High Tide now comes up. We still have more trade after towards the site. Yeah, the spike falls down, and Crashy's looking to backstep some players off the reload. Tui's looking for the timing. As it's up to Sadat. 1 versus 1 to Dink! Vintage did get the Dink in return, but it's still Sadat that wins it.
That's got to make the IGL confident here as we move into the second half. A pistol round coming in for Loud. They now have both. That's one way to secure a second map and get you to a third. Can they run all the way through these bonuses again is the question. That's going to be a big one. They got taken out by NRG on 3, 4, 5. So being able to get this bonus. Oh, God.
He ain't crying today. He ain't close to tears today.
I didn't know the confidence made him blow kisses at people. All right. That's good.
That's always what I do.
Oh, all right. 3 on A. 1 on B here. So look to play a little bit of retake and deter NRG on this low round. They don't want to be, Loud does not want to be met with shotguns on this. So they're playing these angles pretty safe. Just quick straights back and forth.
Yeah, and this is where it's going to get dangerous too, right? This is also NRG's map pick. You've lost the pistol now in the defensive half. Aspas is already coming out with the Marshall. You get more flawlesses coming in for Loud. The converted bonus, that's an early operator, and that's where things get dangerous. So NRG on their end here, the first check mark is at least to try to get the spike down. Bring that economy up, try to fight back with the rifles, keep the economy low against your opponents. And they'll do just that. A plant owl and a pinch onto Aspas. We are dancing around. Cannot get the nose goal this time. No scope ace coming in from the Marshall. It's traded off, and somehow, actually, this might be doable here for NRG. The Marshall's back in their favor. Nanoswarm onto the spike. High tide to actually at least block the vision.
3v3
coming out from Loud. As there's that more delay, and a second delay with the second Nanoswarm. We need to push through towards this high tide or wait for it to come down. It's a tap onto the spike. There's that flash. Both of them are pushing through. And it's back into the favor, into the advantage of Loud.
That's the kind of aggression you need to see. Playing footsie there for a moment, and they can just rush on through once they are able to get Kalenzin's flash up from behind. He's the one staying back to get that defused and ready. Nicely done. Into the next round. This is the question. And bonus goes here. I think Loud can secure this one with the way they're sourcing energy, with the way the game's going down. Kalensin rather running forward, I should say, off his own pop flash, as we saw in the replay. But everybody stepping up, getting those kills now. Sadak, 16 and 9. IGL up top, and that's going to be helping him stay loud, stay proud, as he's giving this team audibles mid-rounds and everything they can to get around Finesse's mind. This push towards B now for Loud, so they can start to structure themselves towards that mid-A area, giving an early advantage to map control. Let's see if it works out for them.
I suggest you move.
Uh-oh. Yeah, you definitely see it here from the floating perspective of our observers. You definitely do have Tui's moving
Push.
back,
Nice scaling.
allowing artists to move forward into the site with the rest of NRG for a plant. But look at all the rotations coming in from Loud. Eventually going to be a triple pushback from Art. Victor getting closed in. Now looking for that battle. Connects. So aware, but at least there's Kalensin there. So it's actually a quad flank just to stop Victor.
This retake.
Big flashes coming across. Poison orb up. Just to try to delay once again, but NRG staying strong here on the pulse plant
Nice
situation.
flash.
Kalensin then finally answers back onto Finesse, so that is no more snake bite onto the pulse plant. Artisan crashes fighting inside the dorm, inside the poison orb. It's all up to left, but there's no time. NRG will be able to answer back. No bonus round converted here for Loud.
Only one gun save. That does not make things any easier. Loud's going to be very happy with the way they actually produced their end of that bonus round and how much they took away from NRG. So low buys coming in. Ultimates just around the corner. Kalensin there on one. Victor as well. So we could see a back and forth between that intel and that lockdown. A switch up. I'm just watching where Sadak plays every round, how they're switching this Killjoy as well as NRG stack 5 towards B. They've had quite an idea to send 2 towards mid, have their flanks covered. They didn't do that on split at all. They were very comfortable moving forward into their positions without any of that Sentinel utility protecting. We might see that a bit here at B as they go pretty fast down long.
And difficult here for Loud to do the same thing as NRG, because you only have Guardians to try to spray across the cascade, allowing Victor to move forward and get a lockdown. Trying to get a last second kill for Loud as they decide finally to pull back. The dash across, Artist gets control of the back of the site. The cold plant comes in for Som. It's back to the classic plays of playing the post plant. 2 players from long, 1 watching the flank. But the change here for NRG is that they have a lot of pressure coming in from the back of the halls, but it's blocked out by a high tide. Aspas trying to close in. Som gets the first blood into the round. Finally, it took so long before the first kill came in, but now it's NRG all across the board. Only 2 players left. For Les, who fights back. Som trying to look for another one, and Les gets 3 into the round. There's the Cove that comes out, and there's no Nanoswarm because we've actually lost Victor. Breaking the Cove now, Tui's on a 2v1. Artist comes back. It looked doable at some point from Les's 3 kills, but finally we crashes and Artist was able to keep things alive here for NRG.
Such a good garrison in that back hall by the 2 members of NRG, making sure nobody ever encroached there, and the easy defense could come from that position. A big luck too that the spike wasn't that far away. If NRG lost players again, this really would be super hurting on the economy, but that's where Loud is at right now. After that bonus, Loud has not been able to produce too much. And now NRG finding themselves on the sites, finding some successful post plants, 2 in a row there in the second half.
Blinded.
Again towards B. the pressure of this game. I mean, if you're going to go against Sheriffs to Vandals, you would definitely want the long-range battle and not find Sadok's Judge anywhere on the map at this point. So orb grab over on the other side by 2Es. They're going to have Reckoning if they really get an idea and a few members down if they want to use that. It looks like this may just be the good old Sheriff round with a shorty and Aspas, though.
Exactly. So a huge opportunity here to maintain, keep the Cove.
Yeah.
Gonna say the Reckoning alive for the next round as we get the Cove plant. Aspas diving in!
Spike down.
It gets traded off as the pit comes out.
That's nice.
And that's a spike down. With the spike down and a snake bite, Loud has rotated across. Artist looking to grab some kills. Manages to get one. Escapes as finally. It looked at some point that the sprays and the snake bites could have done some damage. But it's NRG making it 9-8.
5 ults on the side allowed. A round they'd easily make 9-9, but 3 in a row has brought NRG to the lead now here. Incredible. 6-6 first half. Now we get the 9-8. I think the thought is we get that Haven, Van Silly. We get that Haven. We'll have to see, though. You see the operator now for Aspas. He's going to try to get a pick. Aspas, go forward on the docket.
Kind of looked like Victor was bending bullets like he's Angelina Jolie or something.
A little wanted.
Yeah, nice little kill.
Good one. It's a good one. Favorite James McAvoy.
We're sold.
We're sold. Again, Sadok over towards A.
That's 5 ults available now for Loud.
Yep. So they are playing very safe. Not to be seen first. A lot of the ways that we see NRG play, where they're just hiding around corners, waiting for the team to come closer and closer and use all that utility up before they get the scaling that they want. Aspas
First
has to
bullet
take
shot.
it out.
Taking down the Trailblazer.
Great cascade to just annoy him, too.
Definitely a deeper one.
It's a good call.
For all of this, it's just to make noise. Trying to potentially do a double pump now. As NRG are looking for that control on mid. Force out an alarm bot. And then re-hit towards the site. So we're going into the late round of round number 18 between these two Titans.
I've got your trail.
Not too much B-Link play throughout this entire series, but it's up to Artist. He starts off on less. The B-hit underway.
Reckoning on both ends. And the battle comes in at the B site. It's a 1-for-1 at least. 15 seconds left. We still have the lockdown available as Artist continues to rain fury inside sight.
Last player standing.
Bro, there's just no chance for Loud to set up for any type of delay. Sadok on a 3 versus 1.
You stay down.
Yeah, I think that might be it too.
NRG puts a small 2-round cushion between them and Loud after this goes off. Turret watch and spawn. Everybody's actually has the same angle swing, right? It was like, even if Sadok jumps out, there's nothing he can do to get behind that poster right there under hell, or heaven. Saving that, and NRG finally make it away with some members too, which begins to build the economy. A question on it, you want this? No, leave it down. We need to all be rushing into the site together. The only one that stays back, even if they stay back, would be Victor. But Victor's putting all of his utility in sight. That's not an alarm bot back, it's a turret in sight. Well, he pulled it back, but to create that defense. But once they know nobody's behind, they are ready to face forward. We saw that being a way that they played split with the rotations Finesse was doing. Victor could continue to go forward. The rotations that Artist was doing, they could go forward. And here, they hold the defense and actually continue to look for members of Loud as they come into the site. Loud wants in. NRG, they're like, we want out. We want to find you. Here's a timeout coming in from Fraud. Pretty deep into the game now. They're just 3 rounds away from NRG closing out the El Clasico in 2 Van Silly.
Yeah. They'll change the storyline there for Loud at least. They've had like, what, only 2 2-0s that they had in the season so far. The rest have been 1-2, and this will be their first loss. Not only that, an 0-2 if NRG continues in this favor. Currently in a lead by 2 rounds, and that's off the back as well of not only Victor, but we definitely do see Artist. His performance, this man right here on Pearl, has been very dominant for the defensive half as well as creating space on the attack. And that's something that the community's been, especially just
so
fans
much.
in general here
Yeah.
that just wants to see the success of NRG is like, oh, put Artist into a role, keep it on a Jet, let him activate. And week after week, for the last couple of weeks, we've seen a lot more Jet
Right.
coming out of Artist, and we've seen this level of comfort that's coming out from this duelist. It's paying off so far as NRG
Yeah.
again coming back from this timeout.
And it
We're
was-
now pitting against Loud's lower buy.
It was wild to see him do it on the Sage as well as the Jet. Now you get that double duelist comp on that map anyways, so he's just flowing on the Jet. He's got the Aspas menu now. Only Jet if he can. Let's see where they decide to push on this. 3 quickly here towards A. And they're gonna leave Victor in mid and Finesse on the other side. A very early ult from Les. We've seen this before. It's how Loud tries to force the hand of their opponent. Just go the other way. Go into our defense. And it actually works quite well if they need it. Let's see how they continue to move this around. Alt Orb was grabbed. We have Artists on Blades if they need to use them in this situation.
Okay.
Sound
Yep.
comes up.
Also had a flash
Here.
into Art that didn't spot anybody here for NRG. So this is an opportunity here for them to understand that it's a much more passive play, at least if there's players playing inside Art.
I'm amazed they want to go for this, and they're not expecting to just get their faces shotgunned
Get out
off.
of
They got a
way.
Trailblazer for this too, just to clear out the spot, right? And there it is. It's pushing out their opponent. That's Artist moving in with the Blaze Storm, and that's the kill. Perfect play there for NRG to clear out the pit, but Aspas is already there in the
Can he
back
get
of the
it?
site.
Can he get it?
Trying to get the weapon there, picks it up behind the wall. So get the plant down now for NRG.
He's down. Very low. 17 for Aspas here as they set up for the defensive play. They need to get Kawanzine over here so they can get the flashes.
That's a big ult.
The lockdown will help to time for this now. That is a huge ult. Can he escape over? No, Victor has to run.
It's Sadak with the Vandal here, so they're trying to close in against him. As he turns away, the timing on that one. The spike will go off here, and Sadak's still holding his angle, but meanwhile, the rest of Loud are pushing into the A site. So now you have to fight back, but there's already a high tide up there. Trying to get a timing out of this one. Sticking it, because we also have the Cove. It's being full stick by Loud.
Thrifty!
Player standing.
They do it again! No! Energy collapsing on these rounds when the Thrifties come through. They had a free sight almost. As that went in, the Vandal being grabbed and the lockdown just completely denying Energy the space that they wanted to get back into the site. Really well played there. Even with Sam coming around from Art there, it was delayed enough to not have a huge effect, and that lockdown could be placed. So Loud having the answers at the final hour. Let's see if they can keep us going. 9 to 10 here. Can they tie us back up? This wouldn't actually hurt Energy too much in money, so Loud have quite a bit of work to do. Operator back in Aspas' hands. 3 on the site to protect him as well. Or 2 with him, I should say. Looking now just for this quick peek. He'll find a guiding light. And I think that's exactly what Energy wants. Get a bit of this info. The rush! Oh, he still hits Artist! With that in his face.
Took a while for him to get the Operator into this map, and finally as he gets it, pays dividend. But there's a lurk coming through, and that's Victor out from Art. Now his blood gets painted onto the walls instead. Answered back by Les. Tui's in the back of the site though, as NRG are storming through. Beautiful flash from Kawanzine,
I've got
as
your
Finesse was
trail.
not blinded, trying to get the kill.
Yeah.
Seekers then coming out. Player disadvantage for NRG. Trailblazer then coming out here from the defense. It actually does hit Som. Jumping with the shorty. Connects. Now on a 2v2. Fighting towards the back of the site. He continues to hold W. And does get the kill back advantage that comes through. And solo play for NRG in that round. Breaks the economy once again of Loud.
Takes up the duties of mid-round calling on Harbor from what he's told us now, and playing up an exceptional Harbor, and still giving us the content in every one of these plays. Trailblazer or not, he's blazing the trail right now. 2-11 for NRG, 2 away from the 2-0 on Loud. We thought that was actually Loud's round back in. Like I said, they're getting beat back by just Energy's economy. At this point, Energy can take chances with the weapons they have, but the chances they're taking are coming up gold. Down towards B-Long once again to keep an eco round for Loud at distance, but it's the Thrifty. I'm almost even more scared for Energy right now, Vansili.
As he was jumping or trying to jump across to get a heal out from Kawanzine. Tui's just gets picked off. So that's going to give a little bit of breathing room for NRG fans here as There's less numbers to deal with on Loud Thrifty. Still a Stinger available, though, and it's playing towards the back of that B site. High Tide Cascade now coming through. Execution clean for energy for the plant. No crazy dashes this time around from Aspas.
Right. Everyone together. As a unit, they now pull back. Just keeping that turret online. You see Victor staying in that column range. And Sadak. Turret will give them up, but they still have to add pressure here to try.
This is good. Getting that toxic screen up allows for them to break a little bit of that utility left behind, so no pulse plant util. But they're doing a great job, at least, just to secure pushback as 4 players are fighting back in the front of the pillars, back in B site. So it just nullifies everything else. This is definitely going to be a guaranteed round coming in for energy. Damage being placed down at least by less.
Good kill.
Spike will go off.
Cool. Great kill. Keep it going.
Still not enough, though. This puts energy on map at series point.
Even with 4 down, there's enough money. Loud. Low buy for themselves, a lot. Up 4,000 almost across the board. Low armor buy coming in here, just enough for armor, or just enough for utilities, that means. And game point, series point now for energy in dominating fashion here against the undefeated Loud at VCT Americas. And a hell of a time to do it at the end of the split. Almost like Potter said, if you're increasing at this time, if you're finding that groove at this time, it is one of the best times of the season to do it. Once more to be. Energy look for a strat that could finalize this map.
And a standard one at that. Reckoning to clear out the site. Nanostorm's out on a defense, but Artist still made it towards the back of B Halls. Full execution once again. Lockdown to delay even more. That's placed early by Victor. Nothing to counter, nothing to delay, except for less. Punishing Artist as he was trying to get some ground control back towards spawn. Making things a little bit easier for Loud for the retake. Double flank coming out now for Loud. And Finesse is looking for opportunities to delay and puts a perfect snake bite down with support. Here is now the high tide coming out from the defenders.
There's 2 back hall still.
Back here from the B link. To tap onto the spike, the push forward. The shorties does not connect. But players are still falling down. There's no time. There's no time for this one. We have the stick and we won't get it. Energy will get the series. It took all the energy to overcome them on the second map. But they do it with this victory, clinching the playoff spot.
Loud find their first loss from the squad of energy from Chet and crew. The timeouts called turned to games. The strategies that they had on split got into the mental of Loud. And the final Pearl match. That's all they needed, a 2-0 coming in for energy. Artists on top map 2, Victor on top of map 1. The duelists have been explosive for energy and the rest of the team as well. Incredible.
Energy is killing it right now. Turning things over since the mid-season. And now dropping Loud into their series for the VCT's Americas. Another team here where a lot of fan favorites thought they were going to have a perfect record, just like DRX out in the Pacifics. But when it comes down to play against a colossal titan, just like Energy, it's never going to be an easy game. The reads were perfect from Finesse. The preparation was perfect from Chet. And the kills were perfect from Artist, from Victor, and also Crashies for the support. Now tying things up into the rivalry between these two teams. What, it's the 8th time that they've met against each other?
It's wild.
Tied 4-4 now.
You gotta love that stat. You also have to love, if you're an energy fan, energy clinch playoffs.
That's right. That was the biggest sight that you wanted to set here for energy, of course. And as the fist bumps come through, the fans are finally rowdy here in the Riot Games Arena. Victor and the rest coming out Victor now, clinching that playoff spot.
From 1-3 to clinching playoffs on a win over Loud. The last 4 games, straight victories after the loss against Cloud9 here for energy, and it does not look like much can stop this team. From the strategies to the clutches to actually just being able to rout the undefeated team,
Yeah.
VCT Americas.
And when we started the season 2, seeing the slow start coming out from NRG, a dominant run by Loud, a dominant run by Cloud9, it kind of seemed like it was just going to be those two teams at the top going into playoffs.
Yeah.
But NRG
Right.
late into the season, EG late into the season. Now just VCTs in Americas continues to be a very strong league.
Incredible stuff here today. I honestly wanted Haven. Can we still play Haven? Please? No, honestly though, NRG nothing to scoff at with what they did, even on the low buy rounds. Okay, wait, losing ecos is something they definitely have to work on. We can scoff at that a little bit, but otherwise they look so clean around the board. Even watching that for any team, it's NRG running default strats like Josh showed us, A ramp after A ramp with slight changes. How do you prep for that? You have to have just a full counter for A ramp and hope it's one of those.
And when you prepped as much as you can,
Crazy.
when you're facing off against players that can just fire in all cylinders across NRG, it's definitely a tough opponent. But with that, don't go anywhere. We'll have the desk break down the Verizon post-match interview with Chet right after this break.
about time to get it. It's about time, not forget it. It's about time. Never gonna give up now. Never gonna stop now. Whoa, you roll with me. Whoa, you roll with me. Whoa, you roll with me. Whoa, you roll with
We are back here now standing with Chet. Big congratulations for NRG on his victory against Loud. I mean, Loud, it's not too loud in here. Come on, give it up for Chet. There we go. So Chet, let's start things off here. It seems as though here that for the last 3 matches, Loud really had your number, losing some big games, some big series during Champions and Lock-In. What makes Loud so difficult to play against?
Honestly, they're one of the teams throughout our history, pretty hard to anti-strat, but we managed to find something. You always squeeze something out, and I think our preparation at the end of the day comes really well versus them. And I got to give props to Sadak. This guy mid-rounds very well, so it makes it very hard.
So going into that then, based on that answer, what was the game plan going into Loud to make sure that you could actually win this series and also clinch this playoff spot?
Honestly, I know Aspas is a big factor for them, so before the game started, I was like, if we find him, let's try to run away from him, and then if we find him, then let's just throw everything at him.
And it showed. It definitely showed on Split too. And Split was one of those maps where you had that rematch rather during Lock-In, right? Where you actually lost pretty decisively against Loud when you had the KO coming through. So what changes came into the strategies in preparation to make sure that you get rid of Aspas here on Split?
I think we kind of more focused on ourselves for Split. Like, we made sure like Vic and Artis are at full activated at all points, and Vic was definitely fully activated that series. And we just made sure like those two had max space potential, so whenever we did a strat, they wouldn't die. Like, we'd make sure their life meant like a lot to us. And then the people in the back just sacrificed everything for them.
And overall, was it the series and the maps that you expected here going into the vetoes? Because this pretty much came into the first 2 maps being Split in Pearl, the rematch that you had in the series of the first 2 maps of Locked In.
Honestly, I didn't expect them to ban bind, and I think a lot of teams are just scared about bind, so it gives us a pretty big advantage that they just have to waste their veto on bind. So we'll just keep abusing that, and then if teams want to give us bind, we'll just win it.
And with that, I want to ask you a final question, because not only have now you've got the victory finally against Loud, this rivalry continues between you and them, but the most important is that you clinched a playoff spot. But trying to get into Tokyo, the road is still very far ahead here. So I'm pretty sure you need still some energy here from the crowd, from those watching at home here. Anything you'd like to tell them to get that energy back in your favor?
Thanks for supporting. We had a bad start of the season, but you know, in the future, energy is going to get stronger and stronger. So thanks for the support.
And hopefully energy on top to qualify for Tokyo. Thank you so much. One more time here for Chet, and let's throw it to the desk to close off the day.
Thank you so much, Van Silly. Yes, and hey, I think NRG personifies to a T. It's not about how you start, it's about how you end it. And right now, NRG are ending it pretty well as they have taken down the only undefeated team in this league, Loud, 2-0. Wow. That is crazy to say out loud.
It was an insane game. I mean, right from the beginning, Finesse's calling was fantastic. Chet's game plan is excellent. The energy that they brought to the game, you could tell that it meant a lot to them.
They wanted it.
They wanted it, absolutely.
It really showed.
Yeah, and you know, as we look at, you know, the breakdown and how everything kind of played out there, it's really impressive to just see this NRG team, Benita, put the work in the way that they have, given the circumstances that they started off with this league.
Absolutely. It's just they're setting, like Chet said in the interview, just activating artists and Victor. It's really helping like support the foundation and the team.
Yeah.
My favorite from the match from Pearl was the round 8.
Oh yeah, as a matter of fact, we do have that play, so we can actually just run into that, because that actually, you pointed it out, because it's something you guys do, right? So why don't you walk us through this here?
I'm actually a big fan of this Viper Roll. I know popping Viper Roll off barrier is sometimes kind of sketch, you're taking a gamble, but this one, he's holding onto his ult and he's popping it off of audio cue from the other team. So as soon as he hears something from the other team, he popped his ult, and it kind of like just causes like chaos.
Utter chaos.
Yeah.
I mean, you even saw it there, right? I think, what was it, Les went in, tried to pop his own, and instead ends up getting bopped. Like, it was very clear that this NRG team came in with a game plan sideshow, and if they do this, and they have each and every week, the rest of the field needs to watch out.
They absolutely do, but Vance brings up a great point. The road to Tokyo, actually, is still a long one. It's great that they got into playoffs, but this team is aiming to make another occurrence at one of these massive global tournaments. And I am so excited for a potential rematch of NRG Loud in the playoffs. All time, these teams, they're tied 4-4. NRG's won one more map, And Loud has won one more round all time.
No shot.
Loud have 260 rounds to NRG's 259. You cannot separate these two teams.
Yeah.
It is always just back and forth, blow for blow. It's unbelievable
Yeah,
stuff.
and it's just like their careers, like the journey that they've taken has literally been side by side the entire time. Absolutely fascinating stuff. But important to note here that with that win, NRG clinches the playoffs, but that means, Benita, that the only team left that is undefeated in the international leagues is Fnatic, which wild stuff. But I mean, overall, though, you were a big NRG fan from the beginning coming in here. You feel justified?
Yeah, I believe the entire time.
Yeah.
I'm just such a big FNS fan. I think he's so great, and the team he's built is so great.
Yeah.
And I think, especially hand in hand with Chet, it's just such a solid.
It feels like they've built this cohesive system so effectively well, Sideshow, that they have literally slotted in two players, like artists, guy from EMEA, and Som, a dude who is mostly known as a streamer, and they took these guys, and they were already great, but they made him even better.
Well, think about the issues that we were talking about earlier with Sentinels, right? When they changed all of their roles to put Def as the full-time initiator to help his calling, NRG made the same mistake, but they were able to go back to their comfort roles because they have years of foundation of that team play, coordination with each other, and individual brilliance to be able to rely on. That is so incredible for them. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Loud have lost this week and DRX have lost this week after tying up the top two seeds. They're taking their foot off the gas pedal just a tad, just a small amount. And Fnatic might end up doing that this week against Na'Vi too. I don't know, though. I don't know.
I don't think Boaster wants to lose to Angel, so I don't know if that's going to happen. But, hey, I didn't think Sadak would take the L against Finesse here today, but here we are. And in our off time, by the way, we've actually been trying to, well, by we, I don't mean me, because we've been trying to recreate some of these strats that we've picked up while watching these games. We actually have a play here, like Loud. They have this execute, for example. Let's take a look. All right, so here's the play. We want to try these plays out. You know? We want to become as good as the pros, and this is what the pros are doing.
And this is a very classic Loud exec onto the B site, going forwards, putting down all the classic utility. You know, it's simple, it's effective. You see it from all the teams. Surely the casters would be able to replicate this. The most basic of B hits.
Yeah, I mean, this is literally this is Mimi's favorite play to run on Pearl. Obviously, it's her favorite map as well. She's not here to speak for herself, so I'll speak for her. And on top of which, you know, it's easy to run. It's easy to run. So thankfully, we have a pro up here, right, Benita? You know, you've seen how the pros run it.
Yeah.
You've run these plays yourselves.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and take a look and see our attempt to replicate this strategy. Let's see how this works out. I think we have this on. Here we go. Boom. All right.
We just give the orb, we plant, we do the classic Loud and be long hit.
The classic Loud thing is we're walling like this as well. And we're using a dog to clear behind the Viper.
Give me Spike, please, Bella. And then, Bella, you're updrafting screen. Cascade, Flash, Viper Orb, the classic.
The classic. I love it.
Easy.
Okay.
Nothing pillar.
Right, I'm getting orb.
There's one close.
One's jiggling.
Wow, look at you guys. You look like actual
Screen
players.
dead.
Dogging.
We spam
Can you cope?
I'm walling, yeah. Dogging behind wall. Behind Jenny.
My wall down, my wall down.
He's not there. Still there, dead.
Planning.
Dead. There's a bad wall. City's open.
One's B-Link. Oh, you know what? Fading. I think they left. Can you heal?
One enemy remaining.
We exit through long. We don't give away our guns here.
Ooh, I like it. You
Ooh.
the exit plan.
It's clean.
A lot of people don't do that. That's really good.
I hate that we used that clip. It needed to be failure. When they told it to me, I didn't even get an invite, you know? Like, I couldn't even come in as the water boy for the premiere squad, you know? And you guys are out here executing like gods.
Also, though, that only extends to a very small amount of the plays, Benita. Our caster premier team, we went 0-2 this week on Bind.
No.
We got flattened by a Reyna on Bind.
Yeah, and that Reyna right now is watching, and it's like, yeah, you did. Benita, what did you think of the play?
Okay. No, I thought it was actually pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and any tips for him? Maybe grow hair?
I heard there was a missed wall.
There are probably 10 missed walls. Probably so many missed walls. But yeah.
Hey, well done, well done. You know what? I'll give you a handshake. Salutations,
Thank you,
my good.
sir.
Thank you so much, good sir. Anyway, today, I don't know what we're doing right now, but with today coming to a close, of course, let's go ahead and see the standings. As we had noted before, by the way, NRG are in, baby, 5-3, and they are cooking. They are playoff bound, and we have 3 more slots remaining. And of course, we're going to be back here tomorrow with the last match of the week. It's going to be a clash of America versus South America again, as Leviathan will go up against C9, if I'm correct. And it's just going to be absolutely fascinating, Benita, to see how this whole thing plays out, because we still have 3 spots remaining.
Yes, you're really excited for C9, aren't you?
I am. I think Cloud9 are playing fantastically at the moment. The Benita power rankings had Loud above Cloud9.
Ooh, Benita, getting called out here. Do you think Cloud9, NRG, who would you rate right now? I know where you rate, but what about you?
Oh, well, me, I still actually really respect Cloud9. I think that what they've done with that team is fantastic, but NRG keep looking better and better and more drilled the more that we see of them. Frankly, I think the top 3 from America's looking towards Tokyo, it's looking at the moment like Loud, NRG, Cloud9. So to me, the pressure's on other teams like Leviathan to actually step up and prove they belong.
No, definitely.
Yeah. And I think it's also important to note as well that as we get closer and closer to the end of the season, we're going to see this picture play out. We have so much more to come. We have playoffs. We have Tokyo. We have the LCQ. It's ridiculous. There's so much more. And I mean, folks, I think this day across the board has just been shocking. Whether you're a Sentinels fan or you're an NRG fan, it was certainly NA on top today. But that doesn't mean that these players, these South American players, are to be trifled with. It's going to be really exciting moving forward. But that's going to do it for us here today. We hope you had a great time. We hope you enjoyed the games. And don't worry, we're going to be back here tomorrow with another banger of a matchup. It's going to be Leviathan going up against Cloud9. But for now, here are your Prime Gaming post-day highlights. We'll see you then. Send City is looking to be bumping tonight, but watch out because the crew is moving in, and crew have everything to gain and nothing to lose.
I tried denying some of the vision. And forget about denying vision. I guess it doesn't matter if we're going to land the shots regardless. Ooh. 3K per second. No cue that's where they are, but they're going to push into the panel. They're going to push into Pancada. He's flashed. He still gets a kill.
Huge from Pancada there.
Nice run. Nice. Got Kaznit with the op. We were just saying, 2 traded back. What I don't know if they saw was Marv slipping through. Even if things go sideways, he gets his. The wall. Oh, but he pushes aggressive. Ashen, he's a lunatic. Sentinels take map 1.
See the response, second out.
Much closer, much more accurate, much more painful. Ten's used his ult as well. The blade connecting onto Cloud.
They're planting the flick.
Looking for more. He gets 3 on the round. That flick was filthy.
I mean, what?
Oh my gosh. Can he do it like this? First misses, the second does not. A Red Bull clutch as Sentinels stay alive.
For NRG, it's about keeping the dream alive. And for Loud, it's just another day in the office.
The satchel to break the crosshair placement, but Tuiz is still up there. Victor is going to advance into the site. And now he comes in for the 4th kill. Almost got picked off. 22 HP left. Only the El Clasico in the hands of Finesse. As less sees the round for Loud. But this allows for this backstab to happen thanks to the spray from Crashies. The trigger discipline to let up the 2 and a spike. Wild. Energy, dominant 1 on split. 13-5 victory over Loud. Victor is just holding the off angle, catches the first one. Back to the nice ones! Gets a triple kill. This man is unstoppable this series. Off the reload, Tui's looking for the timing. As it's up to Sadak. 1 versus 1 to Dink! But it's still Sadak that wins it. Loud has rotated across. Artist looking to grab some kills. Manages to get one. There's no time for this one. We have the stick and we won't get it. NRG to overcome them on the second map, but they do it with this victory, clinching the playoff spot.